Hello everybody and welcome back to the Fantasy Football Fix YouTube channel. I'm your host FPL Phillips and it's that time of the week where it's Eddie versus the algorithm. Apologies for coming to you at the slightly later time of day, but we should still have plenty of time until the Saturday deadline, of course, that it is this week. Lots of Premier League action at the moment, lots to chew into. Given Game Week 22 has just finished, that means that the score is now 13-7, I should say, to myself. So another victory over the algorithm last game week, mainly thanks to Hoyland and also Eze, who I went with, who the algorithm didn't decide to have. So give myself a bit of a pat on the back for those two picks. But let's get into having a look at what you're here for, which is the Game Week 23 computer-generated team, putting together its own free hit, and then I'm putting together my own free hit and seeing if I can outscore it for another game week of this campaign. And so as you can see, updated score down at the bottom, 13-7, and the algorithm this time going with a 3-4-3 formation, predicted to score a total of 55 points for this game week to try and get itself back on track. In goal, it's going to be Emi Martinez, and of course, Aston Villa have a very nice fixture this game week. Sheffield United away, one of the nicest fixtures you can have, one of the poorest attacks in the league statistically, and just if you watch them, really. So yeah, Aston Villa, not the best outing last time out for them against Newcastle, of course, at home as well, where we do think generally they are a stronger side. So on the road this time, I could see Sheffield United nabbing a goal, but on paper, it does look like one of the kindest fixtures of the game week, where there are quite a lot to capitalise on in terms of easy, nice-looking games on the team sheet. In the defence, we're going to see Estepinian, Fabian Schär and Trippier, so two more of those very nice fixtures in the starting 11 here with Newcastle taking on Luton at home. Having said that, they're coming off the back of a 4-0 victory over Brighton, who, speaking of which, Estepinian has made it into the side as well. Crystal Palace at home, not too bad a fixture for them, so three nice home fixtures across the back line. Estepinian not perhaps playing in the most advanced role we've ever seen him, but, you know, since his return, has looked pretty reasonable. Has managed to pick up a clean sheet here or there, but Brighton, in general, have struggled a bit over the general course of the season so far. Fabian Schär and Trippier picking up an attacking total of, 3 returns between them in Game Week 22. Schär with that brace, of course, and Kieran Trippier picking up an assist. I think they both look like pretty reasonable picks for this game week, and as said, Luton, despite coming off the back of that very nice victory, still look like a team that you can target, and home fixture for Newcastle looks like one that, is one that you kind of have to go with, even though I could see, again, Newcastle conceding a goal to Carlton Morris or someone like that. In midfield, we're going to see Cole Palmer, Kevin De Bruyne, Bukayo Saka and Anthony Gordon. So a very kind of template-looking midfield for this game week. Some nice popular players in there. Anthony Gordon could well be playing through the middle now, seeing as Alexander Isak should be out for this game, it seems. I don't know whether he'll be able to make a miraculous recovery in time for the weekend, but Gordon should be playing in an advanced role nonetheless. He's at that cheap price, and if you own him, then definitely keep hold and start is my advice for that Luton game. Not that anyone who does own Gordon was probably considering benching him this week, but I think there are quite a lot of sides where if we've got 8 strong attackers at the moment, it's hard to make a decision. Saka is one that, maybe even considering benching myself, to be honest. He's not a pick that I'm backing overly that much. He has managed to grab quite a few attacking returns as of late, though, which is putting me off dropping him down to the bench, especially with his high ownership. On top of that, if you're worried about rank drops. Liverpool at home is not the nicest fixture for Arsenal, but as mentioned, Saka's in good form on penalties most of the time as well, so it is hard to back against him. Kevin De Bruyne, Brentford away, nice fixture for Manchester City. He's the midfielder of choice to go for if you can afford him. It's just the issue with price at the moment, with a lot of us trying to get Erling Haaland back into our sides or looking to do so. Then Kevin De Bruyne is an issue with regards to funds, especially with Salah's return going to happen at some point as well. We've then finally got Cole Palmer. Wolves at home is a nice fixture for Chelsea. They're off the back of conceding 4 goals against Manchester United. So looking like a nice fixture for that. Cole Palmer and Chelsea do look better at home as well. Could have had 1 or 2 penalties in the game against Liverpool, which we know Cole Palmer is very strong in that regard as well. Not only the fact that he's got them, but he is very good at penalties. And I'm touching my desk right now, a touch wood, because I've said that, and now I'm probably going to jinx him into missing a penalty this game week or something stupid. But yeah, finally up front, we're going to see a front 3 of Dom Solanke, Ollie Watkins and Erling Haaland, who takes the captain's armband. Now, I think a lot of people this week will be considering and weighing up the news, the move of Julian Alvarez to Erling Haaland. I don't think we're going to get any news as the Manchester City game is on Monday for this game week, so it's going to be a difficult dilemma for a lot of managers, myself included. Currently, I'm undecided myself still, which doesn't help given that it's now, 2 p.m. on a Friday and the deadline is tomorrow. But yeah, I think the safest thing to do, well, if you've got the money in the bank and the free transfer, I think the move to do is probably to make it, but I certainly think there's no absolute rush into doing it, and there could be an upside in maybe even just rolling if you've only got the one free transfer and giving it another week, because Alvarez in this current form looks like he could be that kind of undroppable player in that side. And although Haaland's returning to the team, even if they both start, might hurt Alvarez's performance and output, I think that overall, the kind of confidence streak he's in does look hard to ship him out of your team. And then Ollie Watkins, Sheffield United away. Nice fixture for Villa, as we mentioned earlier. He takes the vice-captain's armband. Then Dom Solanke, off the back of yet another goal against West Ham in Game Week 22. He's taking on Nottingham Forest at home. Again, looks a very nice pick for the algorithm side. On the bench, we're going to see Alex Moreno, Willian and Robinson as outfield players, and he's doubled up with Leno. So 2 Fulham defensive assets making it into the bench. Leno last week out for the algorithm, did manage to keep a clean sheet for them, so yeah, very nice performance from them, and sticking loyal Burnley fixture, which is a nice one. So yeah, a triple up on Fulham, in fact, on the bench there with Willian included. So with Fulham and Burnley playing each other, it is hard to kind of target those two sides, but Luton against Newcastle and the Aston Villa against Sheffield United, we can still kind of invest into those assets for this week, myself and the algorithm. And speaking of that, really, my team isn't that all different from the algorithm side. My team is as follows. I've gone with Martinez, Shah and Trippier, just as the algorithm has, but I've gone and doubled up and gambled a little bit on Alex Moreno. His own goal out last time against Newcastle for my own personal side, so hoping he can redeem himself, and not only in my team, but also in this battle against the algorithm. In midfield is a very similar looking midfield as well. I have just gone with Phil Foden over Bukayo Saka and tripled up on the Man City team, who are in good form right now. Away at Brentford, I think there could be goals in that game, and whether they'll be for both sides, I think that could be a real possibility. But hopefully in that one, it can be high scoring to give my 3 assets the best chance to be able to get in on the act. Ollie Watkins, and then finally, Awoniyi is the one I've gone for. I obviously looked at Dom Solanke and considered having him in my own side. I just thought, you know what, I'm going to take a little bit of a spicy pun. Whenever Awoniyi is fit and available, he seems to score goals. And so that's my basic logic for this pick. Nottingham Forest haven't looked too bad since the new manager's come in. So personally, like the look of Awoniyi, whenever he's fit and available, like I said, I really back him as an FPL asset. So given the chance, I'm going to take it and put him in my team to take on the algorithm. On the bench for me, it's Areola, Pascal Gross, who could be back on penalties now, with João Pedro picking up a bit of a knock. Malo Gusto and Estepinian, but I'm not expecting to require any of these guys. Last thing we need to look at today is the captaincy. Could Erling Haaland be the only real standout pick, or is there a better option to go for in Game Week 23? Let's have a look. And so, yeah, we've got Erling Haaland in there, of course, Ollie Watkins, Cole Palmer, and then Dominic Solanke, who, given that I didn't go with him in my team, that predicted points total of 5.1 is looking rather nice. Cole Palmer's only on 4.4, but it is Haaland who leads the way with 5.8 predicted points. In terms of fixture, the Sheffield United one does look the best, 2.13 expected goals conceded for them, with Brentford actually looking the strongest of the 4 defences, with Forest the second weakest and Wolves in third with 1.66 XGC for them. Manchester City look the strongest attack of the bunch, with Chelsea in second, Villa in third, and Bournemouth cut away down on 1.47, but we know with them, when they do score, Solanke has a high chance of being involved indeed. And then finally, unexpected FPL points of the individual, which if you want to check out for yourself for all players is over on the Optastats section of the Fantasy Football Fix website. It's Erling Haaland who leads the way, Cole Palmer in second on 7.06, so looking very nice for him as of late. Watkins on 5.94 and then Dom Solanke on 5.05. So, we could have stuck Alvarez in here and he would have looked like, pretty okay suspect as well. You've just got to worry a little bit about his minutes at this point, I think. Was it Foden who was subbed off earlier in that game? Alvarez did play the majority of minutes in the last outing. Could it be a chance for Alvarez to get a rest in this game? I don't know. And like I said, I don't think we're going to know before the deadline, which does make things a bit tricky. So personally, looking at the Alvarez to Haaland move myself, it's going to come right down to the wire, I think. Not too much chance of early team news, but if we do get any, I'll wait it out just in case. But yeah, I wish you guys all the best of luck for Game Week 23. I hope you have all green arrows across the board for all of you. And yeah, hopefully I'll catch you in next week's video. And yeah, I'll see you then. Goodbye.